The Truth Girls.
Hi everyone. There's been a sort of very unexpected turn of events in my life. Well, as some of you know, I posted some videos about my son and what we were dealing with him. That he'd had some problems. He had like an episode of pandas, and there were other things we were concerned about him being on the autism spectrum. And I'm not going to tell you the whole story, but let's just say it's been a long road. But in the meantime, something else happened. He was diagnosed with ADHD, and his doctor thought that, maybe I have ADHD and I should go get evaluated for ADHD. And so I said, okay, if it helps. So I went. So what happened was I ended up going and I got diagnosed with Aspergers. So apparently I'm on the autism spectrum, which didn't really surprise me because in the process of researching all this stuff about my son, I started to realize, I was like, that sounds a lot like me, a lot of things. And I was like, oh, I don't know. But in the end, yeah, I'm on the autism spectrum, high functioning Asperger. And well, when I told my friends about this, some of them said, like, why would you do that? Why would you get diagnosed? Which is weird, because if I had said that I'd gone and gotten diagnosed with like hypothyroid, they wouldn't say that. And I think that's just because people don't understand of autism spectrum, and how wide it is, and how different people on the spectrum can be, that you can actually look quite normal and be quite high functioning. It doesn't mean that you're not dealing with a lot and that you didn't have to work very hard to get where you are, and all this kind of thing. And so, one reason that I'm really glad I did it was because it explains a lot about my life, about my childhood, about all the stuff that I went through. My mom was basically raising a kid on the spectrum, and she had no idea what she was dealing with, and it was very hard. And I did a video before where I said, eventually they put me in a special school. I was anorexic at the time, which is also associated with Asperger's in females. It's like a kind of OCD. And so at that point, as a teenager, they were just like, we got to put her somewhere. And they did. And at the time, there was really not that much awareness about these things. And I don't think that a lot of us got, the help that we needed. But I want my son to get the right kind of help. I think it's really important, because if you are, even if you're high functioning, even if it's Asperger's, and everybody always says to you, you're so smart, you're so talented, why can't you do X, Y, Z like a regular girl? And I mean, that was said to me a lot, and I'd just be like, well, I want to be a regular girl, I really do, but I don't know what to do. I mean, I don't know what more I could do. I mean, it really is, on some level, it is a disability. It's a social disability, and it's a special kind of mind. On the other hand, it comes with some exceptional abilities. So, I don't have a problem with being an Asperger. I'm okay with it. I don't feel like, oh, crap. I'm on the spectrum. Oh, my life is over. It's like, hey, I've been like this all my life. I think I managed pretty well. But so the reaction of people being like, why would you want to do that? Why would you want to get labeled? It's not about being labeled. It gave me a lot of answers, like about like all the sensory issues that I have, which most people don't know that I deal with that, but I do. And why, like, I have certain kind of things, like a lot of stuff that I always felt like I was just kind of from another planet. When I told people about this, there's some people who don't know me very well, like they maybe just know me through the internet. Their reaction was sort of disbelief and like, oh, like why do they want to put us all into boxes, or like, oh, for fuck's sake, there's nothing wrong with you or whatever. But really, that just, A, it's they don't know me very well, and B, it also goes to show that I've gotten very good at acting normal. And that, people sort of have stereotypes or expectations of what someone on the spectrum is going to be like. And, it doesn't always meet up to your stereotypes, A. And B, that, yeah, everyone has like issues and quirks and things, but they don't diagnose you with something like Asperger's unless you really meet the criteria. So I do meet the criteria, but obviously I just try not to let it hang out, so everybody can see all my weirdness and stuff. That's probably my friends calling me to tell me, Tania, you don't have Asperger's, stop it. And, I mean, my mom, I got to really commend her for civilizing me. So, you know, I'm really grateful to my mom for, you know, not giving up on me and for raising me. And I think she did a good job, although I probably at the time really didn't understand what she was doing. I didn't see, you know, and I felt like she was just mean all the time, but she wasn't. She was really just trying her best. So it having this diagnosis, like, it gives me really a lot of answers, and it gave my mom a lot of answers. And I think she's glad about that. And hopefully this is going to lead to us having some answers about my son. And the last thing I wanted to add about this is that I've done all these videos about autism spectrum and how vaccines can be implicated. And I do believe that vaccines, I know, I mean, I've read all these papers, studies on how it can alter the immune system and cause autoimmune reactions. And it's connected with autism spectrum and other things like asthma and allergies. And you know, I think it's genetic in our case. I mean, I think actually what might be happening is that there are certain genes, like they say, you know, if you have a kid with autism in the family, look back a few generations, you might find an engineer. It's not like all autism spectrum, all autism is created equal. I think there's like a lot of different things that are sort of lumped in because of their symptoms, but very different causes. And so there's some genetics, but I think also because of like environmental toxins and different things that are coming into the picture more and more, I think it's affecting our genetics. And so some traits that might have been just sort of like quirky personality traits in a previous generation, they're sort of amplified, and then the next generation, it's amplified even more. Because my behavior was really, really bad. I mean, I was really uncivilized, but I was able to be in class without a shadow and get my work done for the most part, even though I was probably, you know, barefoot most of the time, and I did a lot of weird stuff. But I was still able to be in school, whereas my son, he couldn't just go into school. Although they did kick me out of the preschool, because I was under the desk all the time, acting like a chicken. So yeah, I don't know. I look at us and I think, I get the feeling it's just like hereditary or something. So surprise. Anyhow, so yeah, I wanted to tell you, like, that happened. I got diagnosed. And a lot of you actually had said, well, a few had said in the comments, they'd said stuff about, you know, are you autistic? And I think, well, I don't know, maybe. But yeah, apparently, slightly. And also that some people would leave comments like, oh, Truth the Girl is so smart. And other people would leave comments like, you're an idiot. That's kind of typical, because it's like, in some ways I am an idiot, you know? Common sense wise, not so good always. But in other ways, like, there's a hyper-focused thing and this very left brain kind of mind that, you know, that's sort of a gift. So double-edged sword. Okay, so maybe I'll do some more videos about this stuff in the future. Anyway, thanks for listening to me, and I'll see you next time.
Truth the Girls.